I'm Becky Perkins. I'm his executive assistant, and I'm a mentor for the Lady Dogs.
She's my executive assistant. I really appreciate her. This is her first year with us, and we're excited to have her with us. Jim Brandon is on the board as well as being a part of it. David Stephen is on our board as well for Character Education now. And Marshall was mentioning music coach. It's one of the first things we're venturing into this year. He's already been with us down at the Singhatchee School a couple times, I believe, and had a great time down there with the kids. And also after our little program we put on, then he went in the classroom and sat down on the floor with kids, played the guitar, and just had a great time. It's amazing how kids can respond to music, and they need it. And so we're looking forward to developing that more through Character Education now. Very briefly, Character Ed started about 8 years ago, and I was pastoring our Faith Baptist Church here in town. Been there 15 years, and we started it and just to have an influence and an impact in our schools. The Lord challenged me and helped me to understand one of the greatest opportunities there is for a community to make a difference is working with and in the public schools. Right. Not just with, but in. Yeah. So he challenged me to try to bring some programs in and also to bring people in to make a difference in the kids' life and also the staff life. Most all of you know we have 4 core programs. We have a program called Making Wise Choices. That started off as small group mentoring, and now it's moved to individual mentoring coaching and 3 or 4 boys or girls at a time coaching as well. And we're already doing that down at Singhatchee this year as well. Then we have Words of Wisdom, and when you step into our studio, they're playing on the monitor, and you'll see our Words of Wisdom. We provide about 150 of those a year for our schools to play. Very simple character encouragement to strengthen them in the morning. A very positive message that strengthens them. We had a teacher just the other day, wherever Becky is, that emailed us and said, please keep the Words of Wisdom coming. So they're using them, and we're very excited about that, and it does make a difference for those kids to hear things that can impact them in the morning time, to have a good day, to have a good attitude, and treat others the way they ought to be treated. The golden rule, and we believe in it. Amen. We do. And so many other things that we get to impact them and challenge them in that minute and 10 seconds. Unless I'm doing one, it's about a minute and 20 seconds. Sometimes a minute and 30 seconds. But anyway, the Words of Wisdom have a great. Then we have a program called Character Under Construction. That is a classroom lesson. I'll go into the 6th grade. That's what Jason does. He's been in the 9th grade, 10th grade, the accelerated school as well. Going today to the accelerated school. He'll go there, and he has a whole class period. And when we go into the class, whether it's the 6th grade or 9th grade, 10th grade, we stay there all day. They come through our class just like it's a history class or whatever. It's not an opt-in or opt-out. It's part of what's been approved by the school board for several years and affirmed several years in a row for us to be in there and teaching them. We've got many different lessons we teach. Many of you know what those lessons are. I've highlighted these. Abraham Lincoln, we teach persistence, regret, and depression. 2 years in a row. I'm gonna hurt myself when he says 2 years in a row. 2 years in a row when we asked the kids when we were teaching Abraham Lincoln lesson. He failed 21 times running for office. He had 2 business failures. He wound up in a mental hospital. At that time, I always asked him, what are bad ways to handle depression? 2 years in a row, 6th and 7th grade, number 1 answer was suicide. That's what was on their mind. I didn't prompt it. I just asked him, what are bad ways to handle suicide? Number one answer for depression was suicide. Number 2 was hurting yourself. Many times. In fact, one time I had a girl come up to me afterwards. She said, Mr. Paul, you didn't know it, but my friend was sitting behind me, and I raised my hand and said, cut it yourself because she's doing it. Cutting yourself and hurt yourself. Number 3, I thought would be number 1, was drugs and alcohol. That's what 6th and 7th graders are saying. I didn't even know what suicide was, I don't think, when I was in the 6th grade. I mean, I surely wasn't thinking about it. I was thinking about going playing outside, ride a horse, or go jump on a calf or whatever, you know, and I was thinking about living, not dying. And so our character and construction lessons are very important to get inside those classrooms and to challenge them in areas that the culture many times are not challenging them in. And that's just one lesson, persistence, regret, and depression. We have a soldier's creed. Soldier's creed. We teach commitment, respect, and contentment. Corrie ten Boom. Anybody here know Corrie ten Boom? We got a lesson from her life: forgiveness, grudges, and bitterness. And man, we know that I don't care how good a kid does math, if he's full of bitterness and don't know how to deal with bitterness, he's going to destroy his life. And they're going to get hurt. They're going to get hurt. Corrie ten Boom got hurt terribly bad. But she understood the power of forgiveness. We got friendship, 4 levels of friendship. These kids don't understand about friendship. 4 levels of friendship. We teach grudges, revenge, and attitude. Then, of course, we deal with peer pressure. The last one I'll tell you about is the evil that men do. That's the title of the lesson. The evil that men do. Bullies, prejudice, and not understanding the truth about forgiveness. That's just, we got 170 lessons. Plus, we've got the chip series. Many of you know what that is. We got a chip series, and that's for the smaller kids. It's a potato family, and Chip is the main character. The first lesson, Chip learns a new word, please. Kids need to learn how to say please, don't you think? And then, of course, he learns a double word the next lesson, which is simply thank you. Chip goes to school, and through his life, he learns different principles, character principles that helps him to relate to his parents, grandparents, the people at the hardware store, the restaurant. He goes in there one day, and Tommy O'Rotten, which is the bully, is standing on the table or chair demanding pie. And that ain't the way you do things. He learned what he don't need to do watching Tommy O'Rotten, the bad bully in the series. And so he learned that you need to say please, you need to say thank you, and people respond to that better. And so the character instruction lessons are very important. And the last thing we do, of course, which I'm very excited about, is the Adopted Grading Staff Program. We need to strengthen and encourage our teachers and staff. One of the hardest jobs in the world today is being a teacher. There's so much red tape and so much challenge they have to go through, and then they got to deal with family issues. It's different than it was 30 years ago, right, teachers? It's different than it was 30 years ago. So if the community don't step up and help our teachers and staff, who's going to? And I believe people that have a passion and concern for our students are to have the same for our teachers and staff. They're going through the same things we are. They got aging parents, right? They have difficulties in their relationships. They have kids that's driving them crazy, right? They have all those things, and now we're going to every day put about 25 more of them. And so they need our encouragement and our prayers and strength. Character Education Now seen that 8 years ago when we started Adopted Grading Staff Program to make a difference in their lives. Pray for them, send them birthday cards, anniversary cards, feed them 3 times a year at least, and then whatever else we can do to strengthen and encourage them. That's very, very important. So that's our 4 core programs, and we're grateful to have the opportunity to try to bring others into our school to strengthen our staff and our students. Now, we didn't have any offices. Now we have this room, and the one next to us, you'll see in just a minute, and it is our video recording studio, which Kevin takes care of and does all the studios. We're going to start opening it up to our churches. We're going to open it up to our businesses, to those that's running for political office, or those whatever they're doing. If they want to do video clips for their Facebook or whatever, promotion videos, Danny already does one called what?
State of the District.
State of the District. He does one State of the District every month. We produce that for him, and it's been a big hit. It's been very good. And we're glad to be able to promote the positive and good things in our community. Can I say that again? We're willing to promote the positive and good things in our community. All right? That's what we want to promote. There's enough negative things and bad things going on, and I think we need to highlight the good things that are going on, so we can slowly get that other stuff out of our sight and out of our mind, and let some things happen in those areas as well. So we want to promote good things, and so we're going to open up for that as well. All right, then we're going to have ribbon cutting now. Okay. Hey, these scissors are sharp.
Yeah, be very, very, very careful. Don't cut until you get the hole.
These are some sharp scissors. She didn't know who she was giving these to.
All right, 1, 2,
Here we go.
Yay!
Good job. Good job. That happened too. And but we're going to use these life-size characters for appearances at the school and special events in our community and stuff. And it really it makes a big difference. Kids relate to them. We've already started it down at Steenhatchee, and we've had SpongeBob down there and Chipmunk down there in one of our presentations. We used to didn't have them, so now we're integrating them into it, and the kids seem to respond. Which, as long as they're not too young. If they're too young, we scare them half to death. And so we want to make sure that we don't do that. But anyway, everybody's familiar with the green screen stuff and understands about that. It is great because really you can sit there and record, and we can put you in anywhere you want to be. We can take pictures of our community, and that'll be the background, or he can go on the line, and all kind of backgrounds that he can put you in. So that's very important for us to have that. And this, of course, is where we do our words of wisdom. Some of the words of wisdom the district videos is playing at this time. And again, if you know somebody that needs to do videos and stuff, we want to generate some activity in here for promotional stuff as well as revenue for Kevin here. And he for some reason he likes to be paid. I don't know, but he likes to be paid. And but we appreciate what he does. He does a great job in our editing stuff. I'm telling you, and it just does make a real big difference. So if you know somebody, we're starting to do personal appearances. So if you have birthday parties, other stuff like that, we've got a group of about 8 young people that have said they're willing to put suits on, hang and put them on. They're too hot. I'm telling you what, they're too hot. Kevin does it, and he does a great job. He's very quiet until he gets in one of those outfits. He does it. He was out there Saturday at the fundraiser for those kids, and he done a great job. And the thing I didn't mention in there, First Baptist Church of Steinhatchee bought a character train, the barrel train for kids, and they're allowing character education now to use that train. And so we've already had it in the parade. We've already had it down there last Saturday. We've been at the Steinhatchee School twice with it already. And each barrel has a character word on it. The very first barrel says friendly. So I'm sitting at the back watching these kids, and I'm talking to them the whole time about what's your barrel saying. That's what you need to be. You want friends? Well, the Bible says you need to show yourself friendly if you want friends. So we're talking to them the whole time. And the character train is just what it says. It's a character train. We want to try to put another positive thought in their head and in the parent's head, because when they take a kid out, I say, what's that barrel say? Because our adults need that too. Amen? They need that too. So anyway, we appreciate this opportunity to be able to have this. These 2 rooms, well, the other room, I don't know how many of you are FSU fans, but the other room was painted in FSU colors. Oh, God. And I told a lady that. She said, well, why did you change the color for? You know what? Anyway, they'll change. I'm an Alabama fan. Okay. And this one was just as bright. It was terrible. And so, anyway, we raised enough money to get both these painted. And I want to get a shout out to the carpet place in Tallahassee. What's his name? Carpet Studio. Kurt. Could think of Kurt's name.
Davis.
Kurt. What?
Davis.
Kurt Davis. That room in there. He gave us that carpet in there, and then we raised money to buy this carpet. My wife and I laid that carpet in there, and Brother Marshall helped us some. And so I really didn't want to lay this one, and the Lord worked it out. We raised money to buy it, but when they got up there to pick it up, He gave it to us. And so I took that $200 and hired somebody to put it down. Hallelujah. It was an answered prayer, and I didn't even ask. And so anyway, I give a shout out to them for helping us, put these rooms together, because it just paint and this carpet has made a world of difference in these 2 rooms. Yeah. And the Senior Adult Center letting us be here for the price we get to be here is the only way we're here. I mean, that's just the truth. So I appreciate them and the people on the board for the Senior Adult Center for allowing us to be here. It does make a difference to have an office and a studio. Any questions?
No questions, but a comment.
Make sure you get the brochure and stuff, and if you will help us promote this, we have a budget about $150,000 a year, what we need, and we're not even half that. I don't get paid for doing what I've done. I don't get paid for it. We do pay Kevin and Miss Becky, and right now that's on the funds enough we got to do that and do whatever else we got to do. And I try to give some of our presenters some money every once in a while because they deserve it. No doubt about it. And so we need at least 100 people, businesses or whatever, to give us $100 a month to take care of what we need. If we could get 50 businesses doing $200 a month, or churches, that'd take care of it. And I just still believe after 8 years there's enough people in Taylor County to help make this financially work so we can continue to be there and grow it. Because the school is wide open for the community to come in and make a difference, and this is just a bridge to get in there. That's all it is. That's all it is. So if you could help raise funds, if you know somebody in the business or a church that's not supporting us, if they can support us $100 a month, that would be great, or $200 a month. It'd make a big difference, because I said just 100 businesses and churches doing $100 a month, that'll help us tremendously to do what we need to do. And that ain't a lot of people in Taylor County. We got a lot more than that. A lot more businesses than that. Almost that many churches, by the way. Ain't that right? Yeah.
I just want to say that I'm grateful for what you're doing, what God has inspired you to do. You've helped us as a church to be able to find our place to be effective in fulfilling our mission in this community. And we appreciate you. I know the Lord inspired you to do it, and it has already had a huge impact on our community and on our churches. So thank you.
Thank you, brother. Well, Carrot Head is not a religious organization, as we say, but it is run by Christians. And I believe we need to be salt and light no matter what we're doing.
That's right.
make an impact no matter what we're doing. It is a nonprofit organization, and we get to make a difference in our community in that way. And we get in our schools under care and education now. And believe you me, it's a good thing.
Yes, it is.
Jason. And I will say again, thank you to Jason and for your church allowing us to have him once a week for these years. He's had the largest youth group in town for several years. And as he goes in there and makes a tremendous difference. On the video, he made this statement. He said he had the largest youth group, but not because it's at his church, but because he's in schools. And when he goes out in the community, kids remember him, and it makes a difference. Thank you very much. Mingle if you would. Put you on a costume if you need to.